Okay, good morning, everyone. Am I audible to everyone online?
Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I hope you all are good, but I am little unwell today, so you might not see that energy in today's session.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Might not be unwell, but you certainly look very good in this new suit.
Thank you.
My compliments and all the best.
Thanks. So last class, we were talking about how to design the network, right? So now what we have done is we have designed the network. We understand there are two main devices that we call network device, like router and switches. Using that, we design the network, right? After design the network, our internal people, that means internal users, were able to access the internet, as well as their devices were able to communicate with each other internally. Get in mind? So whenever you see that three range of IP, you can understand that those are internal IPs, right? And apart from that, other IPs are the part of public IPs, right? So after design the network, we understand that any inside user can go outside and access the internet. Any resources available across the internet, they can access it, right? Apart from that, outside people also, you understand public network, good people, bad people. Yes or no? Bad people means cyber criminals, right? Outside in public network, right? They can also come inside. They can hijack your network, compromise your data, right? Manipulate data. They can utilize, they can misuse your system to launch some other attacks. There are multiple consequences if your system got compromised, right? So we understand that we have to plan to secure the network, right? How we plan to secure our company physical office by deploying security guard and other security measures. Similar, even more security, measures we have to take to secure our network as well, right? So we understand yesterday, just a brief about that what security guard does in a physical network, that means physical office. Similar work is done by, or same work is done by which device in the network?
Firewall.
Firewall, right? Same work is done by the firewall in digital network, right? So before
Access control.
Before I give the little deep about the firewall, let's understand how two devices communicate over the internet, right? Over the network, right? How they communicate. Get in mind how the communication happens of two or more devices on the digital network, right? So let's understand. Let me draw architecture again to tell you in detail now how the communication happens. Just quick architecture now again. In digital communication, two devices communicate with each other in the form of packets. Packets, right? The communication is broken down in the form of small packets. For example, mute your mic, please. Kindly mute your mic. Ravi, Pravesh, Samiksha. For example, this computer want to communicate with this computer, right? Yes or no? So, in digital communication, it's not happening that whatever you said or whatever you send, it will receive immediately. Yes or no? So what will happen? It depends on the bandwidth of your network as well as bandwidth of your destination network, right? The size of the pipe. Yes or no? You understand? If you have taken the connection from the tank, you have water connection, right? So how much water will you receive at the same time per second, you can see, for example, right? It depends on two things. It depends on the overall bandwidth. Overall bandwidth means overall the width of the pipe. For example, at your home, you have this much of width of pipe, right? But from tank, only this much of pipe. Yes or no? So will you receive this much of water? No, right? But if your tank is having this much of bandwidth, but at your home, only this much of width, how much water you receive? This much only? Yes or no? So the size of the packet, it depends on the overall bandwidth. Get in mind? That is the reason sometimes whenever you download anything from the internet, one site I'm downloading, it is too slow. My speed is 500 Mbps per second, but for 1 GB, for 500 MB of file, it takes 1 hour to download. Sometimes, and sometimes 5 GB of movies I can download in 10 minutes. It happens. You might have realized sometimes downloading is too slow, sometimes downloading is too fast, right? Why?
Yes, sir.
Because it's not always depend on your internet speed, your bandwidth, right? It depends on overall bandwidth from your system till the maybe the site from which you're downloading, their connection is not. Chandan Mishra, Muhammad Arif. Guys, I'll remove. This is the final warning now. I'll remove if you do not keep your mic on mute and without asking question. Okay, I'll remove it. I can not tolerate this. So what I'm telling is the speed of the network is dependent on the overall bandwidth, right? So you know what happens whenever you communicate, right? Your communication will be divided, will be broken out in the smaller packet, right? And size of the packet, it depends on the overall bandwidth from your system to till here. If maximum, it's the maximum bandwidth, right? If, for example, maximum bandwidth, for example, 5 Mbps. Here also, here it is more, but here is less. But less is how much? Maximum 5 Mbps. Then, based on the 5 Mbps bandwidth, the packet size will be decided. Get it? Mind? Sometimes packet size is big, sometimes packet size is smaller. So when you will have a small packets, when the overall bandwidth is less. Bigger packet when overall bandwidth is more, right? So when you communicate, you know, the communication will happen in the form of packets. Yes or no? Packets. Color change karta hu. In the form of packet. This computer want to communicate with this computer, right? So when the communication will start, it will happen in the form of packets, right? And packets are having two parts. What are those parts?
Header and data.
Header and trailer.
Header and
Data.
Trailer.
Header and data. Header data we also call as payload. Data we also call as payload. Either you can header and payload or header or data. So I'll use data word here. Get it, mind? So the packet is having two parts. One is header, another is data. So what header contains? Header contains the source information and destination information. Yes or no? From where the packet has came and where the packet has to go, right? The address, source address and destination address, right? In this case, you know, the source IP address will capture on the header as well as destination IP address, source port and destination port, right? As well as some other information. This is the main information that will capture on the port. Now, so you understand, source IP means the IP address from which the connection is being initiated or the communication is being initiated, right? And destination address means IP address of destination system or application or server where particular application is hosted, right? That particular IP address will be called as destination IP address. One more thing I have mentioned,
sir,
port and destination port. Yes.
So actually you told that like
so what happens is, first of all, you have to wait for me to take a pause. Do not stop me in flow. Okay, but now you continue. You can ask now. But next time you keep in mind, so once you take a pause, then only you can ask the question.
So you told that public in a header, they will be recording two IPs now, sir. But here, like you're using like sending from private IP, but outside is like public IP, no sir.
I am giving example of public IP for now. I am giving example of public IP because whenever you use Facebook.com, right? Facebook.com has to be given access to outside people, right? So in that case, they have to assign public IP. Internal IP will assign to system where outside people cannot connect. They cannot connect because private IP is there, right? So how they will connect, there is some way, I'll tell you in the later part, right? But you have to consider this. This is a public IP. If you assign private IP, then outside people can't access Facebook.com, your website, right? So any application like website, ERP application, any other web application, which you want to be accessible to outside people, your public, your target audience, you have to assign the public static IP. Got it? So you consider this. That is the reason I have written 199 here, right? I have not written 10. I have written 199. Means it's public or private? It's public or private? The public. Got it?
Public.
One moment. Let me take over.
Sir, I have a small question.
Yes.
Okay. As you mentioned that the packets has it includes two things.
Right.
One is this data header. What is the second one?
One is header and another is data.
Header and
data.
Oh, okay. I thought header.
So header means control information, the address from where the packet has come and where the packet has to go. That means source information, where the packet has come, destination information, where the packet has to go. Get a mind? And go, so source and destination means IP address, network address, IP address, source IP, destination IP. One more thing I have mentioned, source port and destination port. Somebody asked me last time, what is destination port? Why are different ports? Like, let me tell you now. What is, so you know what happens? Source port means source, for example, source IP, for example, from your home, you want to go to Accenture IT department. Get a mind? From your home, this system is your home. This system is your home, right? So address of this your home is this one. For example, in Bangalore HSR layout, right? In your home, there are multiple doors. Get a mind? So from which door you have left, right? From your home, from which door you have left, that is called a source port. At your home, you have multiple doors, for example. Get in mind? So the address, your home address is IP address. Your home address is IP address. And from which door you are leaving, that is called a port of source port, right? That is the reason. So that is called source port. And which company you are going, their address is called a destination, means their IP address. Accenture, you have in Marathalli, for example, Marathalli, their address is called as IP address. So you reach Accenture office by using address, means IP address. You reach this computer, you reached. So address of this computer will become the IP address. Now in Accenture, you have multiple departments. In Accenture, you have IT department, you have, finance department, HR department, and what else? You have security department. Yes or no? I forgot the important thing. Important department. So what I'm saying is, see, from your home, nobody bother from which door you came. Yes or no? Sometime you can come from this door, sometime from this door, sometime from this door. Yes or no? That's the reason whenever you communicate, your IP at house, home address will be same only, right? So every time when you communicate, your IP address will be same. But source port can be anything. It will be very random port number because sometimes you're doing from this door, sometimes this door, sometimes this door, sometimes this door. A source port can be anything. So in the computer, there are around 65,000 port numbers. Whenever you are communicating, right, your communication can use any random free port number. So sometimes you see, sometimes port number 5620, sometimes source port number 4560, any port number more than 1024. source port can be every time random port number. It's irrespective. The communication, a whole communication, we do not bother about source port. You are coming from home, right? So which port you are leaving, which door you are leaving, nobody bother about. Yes or no? And every time you may come from different door. But it's very important because you have to go in the HR department only. So destination port is very, very important. When you call, I'm going HR department to Accenture and HR department, right? Then only security guard can allow you to go to HR department. So everybody, when you go to Accenture, you have to tell that, or in between also, if there are security parameters, you have to tell that I have to go to Accenture and HR department. When you leave from home, you have to tell that, okay, I'm coming from here, source port you do not bother about. And I have to go to Accenture and to the HR department. Yes or no? So when you tell the HR department, it decides that, okay, you have HR related work. You have finance related work. Get it? Because you have multiple departments in Accenture. Yes or no? Within the Accenture, you have multiple departments. So you should be sure which department you want to go so that you can reach to that department only. Yes or no? Similarly, means as you have multiple degree at home, similarly, you have multiple department in Accenture in any office. From home, whichever door you are coming, not bother about it. But to the source in the company, which department you have to be very clear, right? Based on the department name, anybody can understand, okay, you are going to HR department, you are going to IT department. Similarly, whenever you are accessing any system, any application, so communicate packet will capture source IP, destination IP. Source port can be a random port number and destination port number should be fixed. If I see any packet, if I see, okay, this is the source IP, I can understand packet is coming from this particular IP. I see destination IP, I can understand, okay, this particular system connection is going. Source port can be random, I do not bother about, I can't understand anything from source port. Destination port, for example, destination port is 443. So what happens is in public communication, ports are fixed. Particular service application will run on both port number. Particular port number will run on which port number. So again, its destination, let's hold up. Kumar, I have to remove you. Let me put on the waiting room. So what I'm saying is, since your system also 65,000, similarly 65,000 ports are available in each and every system. Get it? So what happens is, one unmute kar raha hai yaar. Ye Kumar again unmuting it is. So I put him in the waiting room. Let him wait. So what I'm saying is, similarly, this system is also having 65,000 port number. Get it? So you know what happens? So you want to deploy certain application so that people can access those applications. For example, I want to deploy my SIEM XPERT website. Everybody on the same page, understanding what I'm saying? I have to deploy my SIEM XPERT website. Of course, if you want to deploy any application, first of all, you have to deploy a server. Get it? On server, you have to configure the IP address. Get it? Now, in this server, I have defined this IP address. But in this server, and then after that, I have deployed my SIEM XPERT web application. But in this server, apart from SIEM XPERT, there are some other applications also installed. Yes or no? So if anybody, I give only IP address, so connection come till the host. But in this host, I have SIEM XPERT application also and some other applications also. Yes or no? So my host will get confused which application access I should give the user. And user also does not know because user knows the address of this computer. He does not know which application. Can you understand? So in what basis, once your connection host to the reach to the host, on what basis this host will send the connection to particular application only? Yes or no? On what basis your particular application will be identified within the server? Yes or no? So you know what happens when the connection will come here, we have to assign particular port to all different applications. For example, this Facebook, for example, SIEM XPERT, SIEM XPERT I hosted here, and this IP address 199.0.5.4. Port means department name, IT department. So connection came to the server and it will go to the IT department. You came to Accenture, you go to the IT department. I deploy a SIEM XPERT here, and I have to give the port number. On which port number people can access it? I have given the port number 443, right? So whenever this computer want to communicate with my website, access my website, they have to define IP address of my server as well as port number. And what is the port number? 443 is the port number, right? So when they send the packet to this IP address and this port number, my SIEM XPERT website will be accessible. I have certain other applications. For example, one application is port number, for example, port number 80. Another application, port number 80, right? Then people access the same IP address, and destination port number is, destination means your target application port number, right? Source port number is this, from where it is leaving, and target port number is where the connection is going, right? That is the different destination port number. So destination port number is 85. You mentioned your connection will go to other application. So you have 65,000 ports within the same host, one host. If you want to deploy multiple applications, you have to give different port to identify particular application. Get a mind? Now, but you must have seen, whenever you are accessing any website, for example, facebook.com, google.com, you're entering only, SIEMXPERT.com. Right? You're not entering port number. Google.com, you're not entering port number, right? For example, if I deploy SIEMXPERT.com on port number 40, for example, port number 40, how will you access? That means you have defined the IP address plus port number 40. Every time, whenever you access website, you have defined IP address in domain name plus port number. It's very confusing, because different people are deploying their application website, especially website and all, on different port numbers. Yes or no? If any application you deploy within the company, you can communicate people, okay, the SIEM XPERT website is there on port number 40. So mention the domain name, let's say SIEMXPERT.com, domain name colon port number 40. That is how you have to access the website. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's not only your own company which are accessing those applications. You have to access SIEM XPERT website to be accessible across all the people. But I can't communicate. I have to mention, otherwise I have to announce SIEM XPERT website is hosted on this IP or this domain in SIEMXPERT.com. To access it, you have to enter the port number 40. Nobody announcing like this, right? Because if you now it is very confusing, because different application can use different port numbers. IANA says that it's very confusing. So IANA has standardized the port number. IANA has standardized the port number. Some of the well-known services, some of the frequently used services, IANA has standardized the port number. IANA says that you have to use this fixed port number only. For example, if you want to host any web application like SIEMXPERT.com, Facebook.com over the internet, then use the fixed port number, standard port number. That we also call a well-known port, standard port number, right? So any website you want to deploy here, you have to give the port number 443 or 80. These are web port number. Get a mind? Understand? If, for example, I see the connection coming in from particular source, going to particular destination, source port number, anything. If I see the port number is 443, because the port number is standard now, right? Get what I'm saying? If I see the connection is going on port number 443, I can understand somebody is accessing the website. For different applications, services, standard port number are different. For example, any HTTP website, any HTTPS website, if you type, for example, https://SIEMXPERT.com. For HTTPS, when you type HTTPS, your browser will understand the application is on which port? 443. It's a web communication and it will send the traffic to 443. For example, if application is hosted some other port number, then website will not be accessible. Get it? Because HTTPS default port number is 443. Get it? If I'm seeing somewhere traffic connection is coming from particular source, particular destination, particular source port, anything, and destination port is 443 on the packet. If destination port number is 443, I can understand somebody is trying to access the website, HTTPS website. Get it? I'll tell you in the later part that when you type HTTPS, it's a secure communication from your system, from your browser to the website that you're accessing, right? The communication happen on the encrypted format. So that man in the middle, internet, bad people, good people, bad people, both, anybody can hijack and see what communication is happening. That's the reason this protocol, HTTPS, is secure protocol, secure application protocol. Get it? So any website can be hosted in network in two ports, either 443 or port number 80. Another browser you can type http://SIEM XPERT.com. When you see HTTP, the communication will happen on which port? Port number 80. Port number 80. The communication will happen on the port number 80. Get it? So port number 80 and 443 is been reserved for web application. Get it? On the internet, any communication is happening on port number 80 or 443, you can understand somebody is accessing any website. So INA has extended the port number so that any public network, when you are using, we understand port number, what communication is happening. For example, source IP is this one and destination IGB this one. Source port can be anything. If destination port is 25, if any packet is going there and destination port is 25, then what will you understand? 25 port number is for what?
TCP.
SMTP for the email. Yes or no? When I see the packet somewhere, if destination port number is 25, I will understand somebody sending email. Yes or no? If on this server you have SIEM XPERT website also, as well as email also, right? Then 25 port number, the request will go to the email. Yes or no? Same destination IP, but port number is different. 25 here now, and 25 port number is for email. So based on destination IP address, I can understand what kind of communication it is. Yes or no? If the communication is happening on port number, what port number? For example, 23. If destination is 23, then I can understand somebody is trying to do the telnet. Telnet means taking the remote access of the destination, right? On telnet, right? So based on the destination port number, because source IP is this, destination is this, source port can be anything more than 1024, right? So what in particular server, particular application install which port number? Yes or no? That is the destination port number. But if you want to access some application publicly, you have to standardize the port number. Then only without port number, whenever you're sending email, are you entering the port number? No, right? No, because it's going by default on 25 port number. Because mail application will understand you're sending email, and definitely the receiving end, we have configured the receiving port number 25. Okay, so avoid this kind of confusing. INA has standard 𝐬𝐳𝐬 port number. Okay, and this is very frequently asked interview question. What is the port number for FTP? What is the port number for SSH, Telnet, SMTP, Kerberos, DNS? What is the DNS port number? Anybody?
53.
UDP port. 53. When you access any website, before going to website, your connection, it will go to the DNS to resolve. So DNS lookup port number is 53. Your browser, your system will look up the DNS server to resolve the IP address. That resolution is happening on port number 53. So there are also, we do not define the port number because your application itself understands the DNS port number is 53. Based on that, it will send the traffic on port number 53. Understand? Understand the port number? 65,700. I think that count something. If you guys remember, you can Tell them.
Yeah, 535, sir.
65,535.
65,535. 535, sir. 535. 35.
55. 535 from 0 and 535 from 536 from 1.
35.
0 to 655.
35, sir. 35.
535 is fine. 535 is fine from 0 to 655.
35.
No, sir.
No, sir. 535.
535, sir.
Sir, one question I have, sir. Yes, sir. What does
5,535. What?
Yes, sir. What does, sir? Yes, sir. Source port 0 and your last port 0 means, sir. Last port in the sense like your
What?
Sir, source port 0. I'm saying, sir. What does if? Yes, sir. What does, sir? Yes, sir. What does in one scenario if source port is 0 and your last port is also 0? Sir, what does that mean, sir? I mean,
source port 0 and destination port 0.
Destination port 0. Yes, sir. What? Yes, sir.
I did not see this kind of scenario. I did not. Have you ever seen? I mean, have you seen that? I did not see anywhere.
No, sir. I'm working on SIEM, sir.
Port is 0, sir.
I did not see this scenario.
SIEM, sir.
If you have seen practically, then I have to check this out. In what cases? Ideally, it should not be 0. Maybe possible that.
Yeah, no, sir. I see this in my yes, apna regular BAU as well, sir. Multiple times I saw that there is actually, source port also 0, and sir, your last port is also 0.
Okay.
Sir,
in that case,
I have actually, that
maybe possible that destination port is not configured, or source does not have the available port number. I'm not very sure. I'll collect the information and get back to you on this.
Yes, sir. Please get back to me, sir. It is actually, sir. I'm sir actually with.
So you understand that various port numbers, right? Fixed port number, for example, 23 port number is for
firewall. Any traffic to any traffic will use 0.0 network.
Okay. So 53 port number is for DNS. 53 port number is DNS. So what is the port number of SSH?
21.
22.
23.
Your cell or SFTP? SSH or SFTP? Port number is 23, right? What is the port number for FTP?
T21.
21.
20 and 21. Data and control, right? One port for data and another port for control, right? So these are some of the important port numbers, like Kerberos. Anybody knows Kerberos port number?
88, sir. 88. POP 3. Sir, POP 3 110. 143.
These are very important interview questions. Why? Because once we work on the SOC, right? Once you work on the SOC in the company, right? You have to investigate, you have to analyze. So daily you are seeing the packet, means traffic coming from this IP, going toward this particular server on this particular port number. Then you realize, okay, this web communication. Oh, somebody is trying to do the FTP. It's not secure. Somebody is trying to take the remote access. Oh, this is the mail traffic. Yes or no? So we are identifying the communication based on the port number. That is the reason it's expected from you, because you are doing on a daily basis. Yes or no? It's expected from you that you should know and remember the well-known port number. It's a homework for you. You write and type on the Google well-known port numbers, right? And you have to remember it. I'll ask you in the next class. Well-known port numbers. You write the homework, well-known port number. Search in Google, well-known port number, and remember those port numbers. You understand now? Port numbers?
Yes, 021024 are all our well-known port numbers.
Not all are. But majority of port number are well-known port number from 0 to 1024. After 1024, the ports are higher end port number. So any port number you can assign for any services, right? However, within 1024, majority of port numbers are assigned standard well-known port number. Okay.
Hello, sir. I have one.
Yes.
Sir, for Windows, we have to integrate Windows device. So which port we need to open, sir?
We'll talk about everything in detail practically once we start the SIP. Okay, for Windows, generally, for example, your 9. So for WMI, it is required 5445. WMI port number, that is also SMB port number. Microsoft SMB 445.
Or UDP, sir. So TCP or UDP, sir?
So TCP. TCP, you can't change to UDP. TCP.
Sir, which direction we have to open, sir, for Windows?
It's recommended to open bidirectional. However, since your SIM goes and collect the logs, so from your SIM to Windows, it should be open, but recommended to open bidirectional. Okay, so just other people can leave it. Because people who know that he asked that's an answer, but this is not a right stage to answer or discuss on this. So let me tell you now. So I was talking about that the communication will happen in the form of .200.0.5.20. So now communication will happen in the form of packets. And packets are having two parts, data and header. Header is having control information, source IP, destination IP, source port, which can be anything more than 1024, and destination port, right? Based on what application. If you want to do the send an email, then 25. If you want to do the SSH, take the remote access, 22. Yes or no? If you want to do the DNS query, 53. Yes or no? If it is email, port number 25. Again, I said the same thing. If you're HTTP, it is 80. Get a mind? So based on port number, decide. So whenever, you know what happens? Whenever, for example, I'm talking about the browser. Whenever you type HTTPS, browser understand you type https://siemexpert.com. When you type HTTPS means you will understand port number is. Which port number I have to send the traffic?
443. 443.
By typing HTTP itself, browser will understand the destination port number is 443. If you type HTTP, then port number will be
80, sir. 80.
Means you don't need to type the port number on the browser, just type the domain name or URL by default based on the application protocol, which is HTTP or HTTPS. The traffic will go, communication will happen, right? Now you understand you want communicating. So here the source IP, destination, source port, and data packet contains the actual data, the actual communication. For example, you want to send some file to the destination, the actual data will contain the data package. Or you want to request something, it can be having the database command to go and retrieve the data from the database, right? So actual data will be contained by this data part of the packet. Get a mind? In data part, you will have the actual data that we call a payload also, right? It will have the data that you want to forward, or it may have the payload, certain command, database command to retrieve the data, to download the data, or to request some data, which will be there on the data packet. Now you understand, okay, the packet is fine, but how the packet will be sent? Who will send the packet to the destination? There should be someone, right? There should be some transport medium. For example, this is same case that you are at Mumbai. Yes or no? Your friend is in Bangalore. Now you are in Bangalore. Your friend is in Mumbai. Get it? You are in Bangalore and your friend is in Mumbai. You want to send something, some gift to him. Like some letter, for example, some letter you want to send to him. What do you want to send? Letter. Yes or no? So letter, you will not write open letter. Yes or no? Letter you will write, then you put into the envelope. Yes or no? Inside the envelope. So means actual data is inside the envelope. Yes or no? Actual data is inside, and similarly a data part. Now address will be written in the envelope. Which all address you write? Destination as well as, because when you reach to destination should know, right? Letter came from where? Your name and address should also be there in case of return or something, right? That means you write source address as well as destination address. Similarly, packet also, source address and destination address, the same as packet. Two parts, actual data and header, like source and destination information. Now, who carries this letter now? What are transport medium? The road transport. Road transport means road trucks. Rail transport.
Post, courier.
Rail transport.
Postman.
I'm talking about transport medium, right? Transport medium, trucks, rail transport,
Sir,
plus
air
flights,
medium is also
air
there.
transport.
Air
So
transport.
these are the transport medium, right? Which brings your envelope from source to destination, which carries your envelope from source to destination. Now in the digital communication also, there should be some transport which will carry your packet from source to destination and back from destination to source to get it downloaded. Yes or no? And what are those transport medium? Those transport medium in the digital communication we call it transport
communication protocol.
TCP.
Transport protocol.
UDP.
Yes or no? What do we call it?
TCP,
TCP
SSH,
or
UDP.
UDP.
SSL.
Transport protocols. They don't confuse with transport protocol and application protocol. HTTPS, FTP, HTTP, these all transport protocol, application protocol, right? But to bring your data from source to destination, destination port, these are transport protocol which brings your packet from source to destination. So there are two types of transport protocol. What are those?
UDP,
TCP, UDP, sir.
TCP and
UDP.
UDP. Transmission control protocol and
user
User
datagram
protocol.
so either you can use rail transport or
User data
So
protocol.
the datagram protocol.
that means you can use road transport or flight or truck. You have three transport medium. So it does not mean that anybody not using anyone. People are using transport, rail also, train also, and flight also based on the requirement. Similarly, you have two protocol now in the digital communication, TCP and UDP. Any of the protocol you can use based on your requirement to bring your data or to carry your packet from source to destination. Right now, just brief I'm giving to you what is TCP and UDP. However, it's a very important scenario. It's a very important interview question. Very, very important. I mean, irrespective your, it's very simple, but it's very important, irrespective of your level, whether of your pressure or experience, right? So these are TCP and UDP. So based on the scenarios, we may use TCP and UDP. Just brief I'm giving to you. However, I have explained you in detail in my YouTube video. Make sure you watch it without fail. I have covered what is TCP and UDP, what is the transport protocol, what is TCP and UDP, what is the difference between TCP and UDP, which one is good, get a point, and what scenario we should use TCP and what scenario we should use UDP, and what is the three-way handshake in which protocol?
TCP.
What is the three-way handshake in the TCP protocol? Three-way handshake math. Very, very important question. Sometimes interview. What is three-way handshake? Get it? What is the difference?
Synchronize, acknowledge, and sync.
So, brief, I am giving to you here that whenever any communication happen on TCP, right, means the carrier is TCP, protocol is TCP, TCP ensures the guaranteed delivery of data. Means your data communication may be slow, but whenever it will reach destination, it will reach with full integrity, means without any loss. Data, if the packet leave from here, the communication started from here, it will definitely complete. The all packet will definitely reach to the destination without any, manipulation. It will not happen. Okay, you send 100 packet, 5 packet have been dropped. Get it? It will not happen. If you send 100 packet, 100 packet will receive here. Get it? So TCP is guaranteed delivery of data. Maybe data delivery may be late, but whenever it will reach with full integrity without manipulation. It's not happen that you send an email, in between some text has been missed. Yes or no? Some word has been missed and the change on the full sentence got changed. The meaning of full sentence got changed, right? In that case, for text communication, we use TCP. I'll give an example. While UDP is fastest protocol, but not guaranteed delivery of data. Get it, mind? Because see what happens in TCP. I have explained in the video in detail. I'm not giving deep dive. In TCP, whenever you send packet to destination, communication happen, it will wait for acknowledge. For every packet, it will wait for acknowledge. Get it, mind? And before communicating also, it will stabilize the session before sending packet. Session whether I am sending to destination is able to receive or not, and destination will also check whether I am sending the packet to source it is receiving or not. Means it will check the connectivity by stabilizing the session in TCP. Whether connectivity is fine or not, then only it will start sending the packet. That is called as session stabilization on the TCP, and that is what we call a three-way handshake. First of all, it will check connectivity is fine or not. Then it will start sending a packet. One packet sent. It will wait for stipulated time before sending another packet to get the acknowledge. Every packet sent, then it will respond, okay, I have received. Send, okay, I have received means ACK. Send, acknowledge, send, acknowledge, send, acknowledge. To ensure that all packets have been forwarded, have been received by destination. In case one packet sent, wait for a stipulated time to get the acknowledge does not come, right? Then TCP will understand, okay, the packet has been dropped. Even though the packet has been received, right? If packet received, it will definitely acknowledge, but it may be possible that packet has been dropped. But it will send, it will understand packet has not been received because acknowledge did not come. It will send the same packet again. Duplicate will not happen, it will remove the duplicate. So again, it will send acknowledge came, then it will send the next packet. Next packet has been missed, acknowledge will not come, again it will resend the packet, right? So this way, process may be slow because it is waiting for acknowledge every time. Yes or no? Process may be slow, but whenever it will reach with the full data will be received to the destination. That is the reason TCP will call a guaranteed delivery, reliable protocol as well as guaranteed delivery of data. So whenever you want guarantee, use the which protocol? TCP. While UDP is not guaranteed, it is the fastest protocol, faster protocol than TCP, but not guaranteed delivery of data because UDP is not bothered about. You have to send 100 packet data, it divided in 100 packet, 100 packet one by send. Do not bother whether destination is achieving. It does not bother about whether destination is alive or not. Even destination is down, it will send, just drop all the packet. And your source will send, I have sent, right? But you will not come to know whether packet has been received by destination or dropped somewhere. Or destination is up or down, it does not bother about. That's the reason UDP is not reliable protocol. It does not use acknowledge. Yes or no? It's not guaranteed delivery of data. But since it does not use acknowledge, it does not wait for a stipulated time to get the acknowledge. Means packet sent continuously. That's the reason UDP is faster protocol. Got it, mind? So whenever you use fastest experience, live experience, we use UDP. Fastest. For example, this communication with me is happening using UDP. Live streaming that I'm doing here is happening on which protocol? UDP. Right? Because why? Because, for example, your internet speed is slow. Your internet speed is slow. What will happen is, for example, I'm here. Your internet is slow. In between packets has been it delayed in reaching. So my head is like this. You see like this only. Then slowly it will come like this. Yes or no? In TCP, because TCP cannot drop the packet. If my head is here, it will definitely come like this, because it can't drop the packet and come like this. Yes or no? It will come like this only, slowly. This is TCP protocol. So do you want this experience? That now, because slowly my head is coming here and I already here. But you are seeing the previous experience. Means you are not seeing the live streaming. Experience will not be good. Yes or no? If my head is coming like this, but you're fine, my head is coming like this, it will drop and directly coming. You understand? If my head is this, it will come like this only. It does not impact much. Instead of previous experience, historical that you are saying here and I'm somewhere else here, it is better from here directly I can come here. In between packet had been dropped. Yes or no? So UDP is the fastest protocol, and if packet dropped also in video streaming, that is also fine, right? So do you think that when you make the call on WhatsApp, you say something, I received 2 minutes, well, for example, 5 seconds late, and I say something, you are receiving 5 seconds. It is not happening. It's not a live experience. Otherwise, you are saying something, I am answering something else because of delay in TCP. So these all calls, like the VoIP call, that voice over internet that you are doing, like WhatsApp call, Zoom call, right? All are happening through UDP. And UDP, packet drop will happen. Sometimes your voice is breaking. Yes or no? Voice is breaking, in between has been broken, but next word you are able to hear, right? Yes or no? It's not something the previous word you are hearing, because it's a UDP. So this is good. Voice may break, but you will see the live communication. It's not previous experience, previous communication, right? That is the reason all text, this one, video is live stream that I'm doing right now, WhatsApp call, VoIP, all this, we are using UDP, right? While when you see the recorded video, like YouTube streaming, we use TCP. Sometimes it will buffer. Buffer means it collecting the package. Then it will, sometimes you're seeing that isne mara and a fight, and then next time you see another scene. It is not happening, right? You see the buffering and you see the full scene, right? And that is the
data download also, sir.
That is a TCP protocol. Get it, mind? So that is the difference where we use TCP and where you use the UDP. So both are good. I mean, based on their requirement, yes or no? But whenever you use guarantee, use the TCP. Get it, mind?
Yes, sir. But sir, who manages this TCP and UDP, sir? Is there an organization or someone manages? Sir, who manages TCP and UDP?
Nobody. When you design a device, right? When you design a device, you have the option which protocol you want to use, right? Every device almost support UDP and TCP protocol. Some device might have designed to communicate based on their usage. They might have designed, okay, I will listen only on UDP. I will listen only on TCP, right? Otherwise, majority of devices. Have some device, for example, WhatsApp mobile, WhatsApp calling, right? In mobile, can be happen on UDP only, not TCP, right? So this system can understand UDP only, for example, not whole system, but particular application can listen only on UDP, right? So it's a protocol which used in the network communication. It's not something someone is handling. Okay, I have to pay you for communication. This is how digital device has been built, has been developed.
Sir.
Right? Yes.
Downloading movies.
Sir,
also,
accessing some website is TCP or UDP?
Accessing website will be a
TCP or UDP?
TCP. It's a text, right? Yeah. It depends. Website, what is hosting? What is hosting the website? Some data may be on TCP, some data may be on UDP. Get it? Like text communication happens generally on TCP only. Ideally means 101% TCP, because some sentences you are written here, some will miss and some will display here. Meaning will not change, right? That's the reason you won't see any mistext, miswords, right? Because the communication is on TCP. Okay. It's not about security. It's not about security. It's a communication protocol which carries the data. It's not about security on whether which one is secure.
Yes, yes, sir. On which layer of OS does it work, sir? Transport layer?
It works on transport layer, but OSI I have not. I'm just mentioning OSI now. Okay, it works on transport.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Now, this was your system. This is the packet now. So you know what happens? The whole communication, for example, you open the system, you want to access the Facebook website here, or SIEM XPERT website, right? You will open the browser, right? And access the website type https://siemexpert.com. It will go from your system, leave from your system, then cables, then in between router switches, right? Then network, then here the switches, then again your system, physical network, then again application, Facebook application, SIEM XPERT application, right? The whole communication, to understand this whole communication, it's a big communication, right? From leaving from your browser, then system, then cables, repeaters in between, router switches, then again coming to your server, then again to your application. Yes or no? The whole communication has been broken down into 7 layers. Just for troubleshooting perspective, response perspective. For example, you are troubleshooting some problem, right? So you have to identify problem is where is the problem. Get it, mind? So to define that, to understand that, the whole network communication has been, defined in the form of layers, in the form of model, right? That model is called as OSI model. So OSI model is a reference model which defines how communication happens from source to destination in the form of 7 layers. OSI stand for
Open source interconnection.
Open
source interconnection.
Source nahi bhai, it's not system. System. It's not
Open
source.
system
intercom.
Yes. पता तो है लेकिन पूरा नहीं पता. Many people knows it, but some people are open system, open server, somebody open somebody else, source. Open system interconnection. Open system interconnection. OSI is a model. So now you ask me, where is the OSI model? Where we have kept the OSI model? Is in USA or is in India? Where is the OSI? Where you can see the OSI model? Is in US or India or UK? Where it is?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, sir.
Only on paper.
So
In
it's a
every
reference model.
communication.
You can't say that OSI is the model means somebody have the model. Yeah. So it's not a physical model, right? It's a model on the paper, on your paper. It's not a physical model. This is the OSI model. It is not like that. It's just a reference model which is on the paper and your mind when you consider the communication. Mute your mic back, please. Mute your mic. So OSI model is a reference model which have been designed, which defines how communication happen from source to destination in the form of 7 layers. What are those 7 layers?
Physical layer.
One
Data
by one.
link
Okay?
layer.
One by one. First of all,
Physical layer.
Physical layer.
काम क्यों कर रहा है? Physical
Layer.
Physical layer, then
Data link layer.
Data link layer.
Data link layer.
data link, then
Network layer.
Network layer.
network,
Transport layer.
Transport layer.
Session layer.
transport,
Session layer.
Session layer.
then
Session presentation.
session, then
Presentation.
Presentation and then
Application.
application.
presentation,
Application layer.
then
Application layer.
Application layer.
application. Right? This is the first layer, physical layer. Get it, mind? Understand? The physical layer is, so any device, any communication, any device work on the physical layer. This is called a layer 1. You can see. So this is layer 1. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and this is layer 4, layer 5, layer 6, and layer 7. Get it, mind? So which device work on which layer? Which all device work on which layer?
Wire works on physical layer.
Cable works on the
Switch.
physical layer.
Cables, repeaters.
Switch
Yes or
will
no?
work on data layer. Network router.
Switch on the
Transport.
Switch
data
will work on
link layer.
transport
The center
layer.
of the
First of all, you tell me on the physical layer, which device work on the
Hub and
physical layer?
wires. Hub and wires will work.
Hubs,
Wires.
cable. Write
Cable.
down. It's very important.
zeros and
Very
ones.
important. First of all, one moment, huh? First of all, you write what is OSI model, right? First of all, you write what is OSI model. So what happens is, if you want to understand, you can deep dive, but from interview perspective, right? It's enough what you are writing here. Get it? I'm telling you, end-to-end knowledge rarely people are having, because it uses some logic to understand. Not everybody, people are going through internet and all, they are not understanding. Get it right? So this is the brief information I'm giving to you. That is enough from interview perspective. Interviewer only asks what is OSI model, what is the use of OSI model, and what are the different layer on OSI model, and what devices on layer 2, what is the layer 3 device, what is the layer 6 device, 7 device, or what is the layer 1 device. That's enough. If you want to deep dive, you can deep dive. Okay, so let's write it here. What is OSI model? So OSI stands for
Open System Interconnection.
Open system interconnection.
Correct. Open system
interconnection.
interconnection. OSI stands for Open System Interconnection. Open System Interconnection. It's a reference model. It's a reference model.
How data flows.
It's a reference model which defines how the communication happens. How the communication happens. Which defines how the communication happens. From source to destinations in the network. How the communication happens from source to destination in the network. In the form of 7 layers. Write down the 7 layers model. Same way how I have written. In the form of 7 layers. So mostly we use OSI for some troubleshooting perspective. Okay, problem is I think layer 1. Problem is layer 1. Layer means cables, right? Cables and all, like cables, hubs, repeaters comes under layer 1. So we can segregate the problem. Okay, problem is your layer 1. Problem is your layer 2. Problem is your layer 3. I'll tell you what are the devices. So we can segregate our problem. We can specify your problem based on the number, based on the layers, right? Write down the layers model. Written model. So OSI model we use generally for troubleshooting perspective to find out the exact issue, which layer the problem we are having. Okay. So now which layer, which devices are working. So layer number 1, you write which device working in the layer 1. Cables.
Hubs and
Cable, how repeaters.
Correct. Cables. First cables.
Major support.
Right, you are right. Cables, and then connectors,
Fiber.
and repeaters. अब NIC, network interface card. NIC, where we configure the IP address, network interface card, NIC.
Please,
So,
what do you say before NIC?
What?
What did you say before NIC?
Hub.
After
hub. 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 I said hub. Okay. Hub, repeaters, cables, connectors, NIC, NIC. Okay. Leighton, what are the layer 2 device?
Sir, NIC and net.
Switch. One is switch. Layer 2. Bridge.
Sir, NIC and net is same.
NET क्या है?
Net.
NET. नहीं वो netting है. That is the configuration netting. NIC is network interface card. In your laptop, desktop, or server, you have network interface card on which you configure the IP address. Based on that, it connects to the network, right? That you have card. So NIC means network interface card. Get it? Okay, sir. Network interface card. Okay, that is called as NIC. So, what are the layer 2 devices you have written? Switch, bridge, access point, etc. Switch, bridge, access point, etc. Written? Access point, etc. Now, another is access point means kind of AP, like kind of wireless access point. Network layer 3, router or layer 3 switch. Let me tell you that I told, right? Switches within same network, right? Nowadays, some digital switches are coming. Nowadays, which can work on layer 2 means switch functional also and router feature also, right? Which has the switching feature also. Router, like your home, you have switch, right? It works as router also and switch also, right? That is called layer 3 switch. Digital switches or layer 3. Okay? So in the layer 3, router and digital switches or layer 3 switches. You know what happens when the within your system, right? When the communication is started from physical layer, from cable connectors, right? The packet that we call as packet generally, but it is in form of bit. We call as bit. Get it, mind? And the when it comes to switch, right? We call as frame. It comes to the router, we call as packet. When it comes to call like layer 4 device, segment. That is also you can remember if you can.
Sir, can you please repeat?
Physical layer. In physical layer, the data, right, is in the form of bit.
Yes.
The data will be in the form of bit on the physical layer.
Yes.
Understand? When it is in cable connectors, data will be in the form of bit. We call it bit. पहले अभी मैं complete कर देता वैसे. अभी you have to complete transport layer device also and further devices also. But in between I started explaining you, so you can write somewhere. Somewhere else you can write. Okay. So on the physical layer, the data packet we call as bit. Okay. On the level 2 means on the layer, data link layer. As
Link layer.
We call as frame. On the network layer, we call as packet. And in the transport layer, we call as segment. Or If it is using TCP, we call a segment. Okay. If you are using UDP, we call a datagram. If TCP UDP protocol will come under transport layer. Okay. So if you are using TCP, we call as segment. And if you are using UDP protocol, we call as datagram. Okay. And all other layer like session, presentation, application, we call as message. All the packet will call it message. Okay. And all other. So this is something that you can remember. Sometime interview may ask. Bit, we call as bit in which layer? Segment on which layer? Frame on which layer? Right? Packet on which layer? Network layer, it is called as packet. Right? Let's come back now. Network layer device, you have written router and layer 3 switch or digital switch, right? And transport layer,
TCP UDP.
TCP UDP protocol.
TCP and UDP.
TCP UDP protocols comes under the transport protocol.
Transport layer.
When we use ports, protocols, it comes under the
TCP and UDP.
Yes, when you talk about ports and protocol, it comes under the transport layer and the devices which works on the transport layer like firewall. So firewall.
So can you please repeat?
I said that when you talk about
Your voice is breaking, sir.
When you talk about
video is stuck.
Your network is
You're
lagging.
breaking. You're breaking.
Video stuck.
Video stuck.
Your network is lagging.
TCP.
Acha, network unstable. It's showing my network is unstable.
Can you repeat? Video was stuck.
Okay. Chalo, we stuck hai na?
You are in TCP, sir.
Sorry, TCP right now.
Okay. So now mute करके बोलो.
We're at level 4 devices.
Layer 4 device. So when we talk about TCP UDP, we talk about ports and protocol, right? All comes ports and protocol like TCP UDP comes under the layer 4 means transport layer. And transport devices like firewall. Firewall comes under the transport layer. So firewall is not only layer 4 device, but it works on layer 3 also. In layer 3 also you can write firewall. Because firewall having both features, layer 3 and layer 4. Means firewall can do the routing work also and transport also, right? Means port protocol as well as IP. The firewall can understand IP address also and port also, right? And your router do the routing based on the IP address. So IP address comes under the network layer, and switch understand the MAC address. Final communication using the switch is happening MAC address. Get it mind? So when you talk about the MAC means switch. Switch understand the MAC address means final communication. When you switch it as does switch check what are devices connected, right? What is their MAC address? Get it mind? So switch is a layer 2 device because it understands the MAC address. Router is a layer 3 device because understand the IP address. Firewall is a layer 3, layer 4 because it understands the IP address also and port and protocol. Port and protocol. That is the reason firewall calls layer 3 also and layer 4 also. Get mind? Understand? Now what about the session layer? Session layer device like gateway. Gateway which establishes the connection.
SSH.
Like SSH, gateway, right? These are some of the devices which can use. So there is no as such name of the device like presentation layer. Presentation means how the data is being presented, formatting, encryption, decryption, right? So any device with data encryption, decryption comes under the application layer. Get it mind? Encryption, decryption is happening on the application layer, right?
What is the SHA? SHA, sir.
SHA or SSH? What do you want?
SHA.
SHA is an algorithm. It's an encryption algorithm like SHA 250. It's a hashing algorithm. Hashing algorithm 256 or SHA 1, SHA 520, 552, 56, right? So that is the SHA algorithm. On the later period, I'll talk about what is SHA.
Non-encrypted tag encryption.
It's a kind of encryption. It's a kind of encryption. I'll tell you what is it. So whenever you create any files on the system, right? it assigns some,
bits,
SHA values like MD5, SHA. It's a hash algorithm, hashing algorithm. It gives the unique. For example, you have created some file, right? You created a file, right? Mute your mic, please. You created a file. You created a file and given your name. For example, you have given important data, right? Now, one you forwarded to her, she has changed the name, my data. Yes or no? She did not change the content. She changed the name, my data, right? So you know what happens? I can verify whether the file is same or different. Whether the file has been you change the name itself, but still the hash value like SHA value or MD5, which will be, so whenever you create a file, right, it gives the unique hash value. Okay, fine. If file content has not been changed, the hash value will not be changed. Name you can change, but file, if you did not modify, the hash value will not change, it will remain same. So you can understand it's important data, it's my data, both files are same only. You just change the name, but both files are same. Get in mind? If even a minor, for example, is a big data file, you just added and change, just added one letter A. It's a modification, then you save, hash value will get changed. That is the reason you must have seen sometime. Whenever you are downloading, just mute your mic, please. Rohit Bharadwaj. What I'm saying is, whenever you are downloading some, who is on mute? I can't see. I can't see who is on not on mute. Vishal Kumar. Who is on mute? It is not visible here for me. Who is on not on mute? Now it is gone. What I'm saying is, whenever you know some important software, when you download from the internet, right? So there might be possible that sometime when you're downloading, maybe your internet speed is not stable, right? Where you download a software from internet, some important software, some paid software, you download it. But when you are installing, the software, right? You are facing some problems, some errors while you installing the software, right? May possible that when you downloaded, that time some packet drop happened and the application got corrupted and some packet has been dropped. It is not fully downloaded. Yes or no? Some modification happened on the network, and that's the reason you are facing problem. It may happen. That's the reason some paid software, some critical software that you download. When you download the software, right, they will ask you to download another file, MD5 value. That is a SHA value only. Oh, sorry, hash value only. Hash values are multiple format, either SHA1, SHA256, or MD5. So some file is the MD file where you read around 16 to 18 digit, some alphanumeric is there. MD5, that is the unique hash values. When software has been developed, this was the hash value. When you downloaded, the value should be same. So when you download, to check whether same exact software you downloaded or not, verify the hash value. After downloading, there are ways where you can verify the hash value. If value is same, you understand you have downloaded the right software and there is no manipulation happen in between. There is no packet loss happen in between. Get it? So many of the critical and paid software are coming with the hash value, MD5 value or SHA value, where you can verify whether you have done it exact and correct software or not. And no manipulation. That is one way, one important thing that you can have, during this. Sometimes for malware analysis also, to understand whether it is malware or not, or whether someone else got the same malware or not, hash values plays the important role. For example, you have got a malware in your company, system got compromised, and file name was, you understand, right? Whenever any phishing mails come, any mails look like legitimate and they will have an attachment, and those attachments are actually malware attachment. Yes or no? So what will happen is, you got an email saying that your name, Prithvi, your monthly health report is attached, kindly downloaded. And attachment was, name was health report. You download it, because you were not aware. You thought maybe, let me say it, because you are not from cybersecurity and you are not having awareness of these things. You downloaded health report, you don't know that the malware has been installed and your system has been compromised. Now, some other people, same malware has been shared, but saying that your name is, there Teja, you have got a job offer from Tata Communication or some. So now the attachment name is job offer. Get it? Job offer. But you opened that, you also opened that your system got compromised, right? So now maybe first time this proxy system got compromised. So what happens is, in your system you are having antivirus also installed. Whenever any files comes here, I'll tell you what is antivirus in detail on the later part. So whenever you download any file, antivirus will scan it. What is the type of file, whether it's malware, virus or malware, anything. It will scan. If it found, it will block or delete or anything. But when it is scanned, it retrieves the hash value also of the file, right? So this time antivirus failed to detect it because antivirus was not having signature that it's a malware. But antivirus definitely has scanned it. Your system also scanned and your system. Both file name was different, but hash value will remain same. Yes or no? Once the proxy system got compromised, we got what was the hash values. Then I can check all the logs, any system which have any files with the same hash value. Get it? If any system has the file with same hash value, I can understand, even coming with a different name, I can understand the same malware. Yes or no? Or I have a file, I have a download from, I got an email. I can verify the name of the file was health report. Maybe possible someone else in different company of the internet had got the similar malware with a different name. Yes or no? And they scanned with some tool like VirusTotal. Yes or no? And they came to know it's a malware, they updated it. Then virus got updated. This hash value file is malware. And you got has health report. He got has won the lottery. But program, they will not change. Malware file remains same. When you upload the VirusTotal will scan the hash value and it will match if anyone else has reported as a malware, and they will scan. It comes from a file hash value is same. Even the name is different. Yes or no? With the uniqueness of particular program file, you understand it's a malware. Yes or no? So modification on the file, we can monitor based on the unique hash value. SHA 1, SHA 256 is the latest one. SHA 1 is not being used nowadays. SHA 256 or strong encapsulation encryption is SHA 512, as well as you have RSA, you have MD5 512, right? So these are some unique algorithms so that you can check the uniqueness of the file.
So one more question, sir.
Yes.
So when you're creating one, I actually created one file, sir. It will be one hash value. Afterwards, I change the name, means the hash value also will change, sir.
No. If you change the name of the file outside, just name of the file, hash value will not get. That's why I said, right? Different name, lottery name, as well as health report. File is same, but name is changed. Name change outside will not change the hash value. Inside file, you open and added the file. Then you change, hash value will get changed. Even a minor change, just one word I added or removed. If minor change, hash value will get changed. Okay, understand? So let's continue where you are. So you have written, so presentation means any device which does the encryption decryption comes under the layer number 6. Layer number 7, applications such as your browser, Google Chrome browser, UC browser, FTP application, as such application like Putty, right, comes under the layer number 7, like browser like Google Chrome, Mozilla, layer 7 device. FTP application like you have WinSCP comes under the application layer. SSH like Putty comes under the application layer. Okay, right? So application layer device has the access of actual data. Like your browser, what you're doing, what you're getting, actually you can see. No middle device can check the actual data. Only application layer device has the visibility to check the actual data. Your layer number 3, layer number 2, for example, switch work on the layer number 2 can understand the trouble is coming, what is the MAC address. Router can only check header and check what is the IP address. It can't check which is the port number. Yes, what is the protocol? It can't check because it does not have visibility. Layer number 3 device like router only have the visibility, only can open the header part of the packet, and it can only read IP address, because layer number 3 device has the understanding of IP address only. Layer 4 device such as firewall can open only header again, but it can read IP address as well as port and protocols like TCP or UDP. Yes or no? Understand? So these like layer 3, layer 4 and all, these layer of devices does not have access to the data packet. Only layer number 7 device can read what is there inside the data packet. What is being requested or what has been delivered can be read. Your Outlook application, Outlook is the layer number 7.
Sir, can you repeat layer 6?
Layer 6 means presentation layer. Any device which does the encryption or decryption. Means how to present the data, right? After encryption, during receive, it will receival point, it will decrypt the data. So that data will be on readable format, understandable format. While extending the data, you'll have some tool which encrypt the data, so that communication will happen securely, right? So encryption and decryption. So encryption and decryption comes under the layer number 6 presentation. And finally,
in phone
layer 5
what happened? What?
Layer 5.
phone pay sir, phone pay session layer.
phone पे
we will session layer na session.
क्या phone पे बोले?
we will use session layer na session layer.
Session layer means to stabilize the session. To stabilize the session, right? So when your application, see all your QC session, presentation, application, all generally comes under the application layer. All layer number 5, layer number 6, layer number 7, all device comes under the application layer. So they are using application protocol only. Like HTTPS, your browser, layer 7, HTTPS protocols, layer 7, application layer protocol, like HTTPS, SMTP, right? These all are layer 6, layer 7 means application layer protocol, right? So layer 6, layer 7, layer 5 comes under the application layer. Got it right? Session, presentation, and application all comes under the application. Got it right? The protocol SMTP, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, right, comes under the application layer, right? So all session, presentation, and application comes under the application. Right? The browser will stabilize the session, right? And encryption through HTTPS, encryption through SSL, encryption will happen. Encryption, decryption, right? At the your end, decryption once you receive, and once you communicate encryption, right? As well as presentation, and application layer, it will present the data. Understand? Yes or no? Understood, right? So this is enough. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask. Rest, I'll continue tomorrow.
Sir, how
we come to know about troubleshooting in this 7 layers, sir?
Troubleshooting means just to tell that, okay, the problem in application layer, right? So application layer might be your browser, your Outlook, or whatever application you are using, right? That's to identify the problem, segregate the issue. Okay, problem is in network layer, means maybe on the IP address or network configuration, routers problem in. That is how we tell.
Sir, nowadays the OSM models,
how can we
merge
know
in file layers in
troubleshooting?
One by one.
So nowadays the OSM models, they merge like file layers, no, sir, like.
No, that is a TCP IP. OSI level is 7 layer.
Sir, I have a doubt.
OSI level is always 7 layer.
Sir, if you are using port 80, will the presentation will be done because it's not secure?
No, it will not happen. It will not happen. So it's not something that always it will come. It is not. These are layer means all feasible condition it is written 7 layers. But when encryption description is not happening, then presentation will layer will not. Encryption description is not happening. So HTTP encryption decryption is not happening, right? So presentation layer will not come.
So which layer is very vulnerable to attack?
No, it's all depends on what kind of attack it is, right? So you can't say what is vulnerable, what is not vulnerable. Attack may happen in any layer.
Okay, thank you.
How to check hash value in the file?
Hash value, there are multiple things. There are multiple. When I see in the class also, through CLI also there are command. you type the command and path of particular file, it will retrieve and give the hash value. As well as there are some tools available in the internet. You can just check the SHA5 value, SHA2 values, MD5 value. You can search, you get the application. Just upload that file. It will show you all values. MD5, retrieve. You can see retrieve hash values. Type the application. Check the hash value. Check. We have muted mic who are not speaking. Unnecessary noise I will not tolerate. So what I'm saying is, there are many applications available. You can upload that file and it will show you all hash values. Like virus total. Virus total also you can upload the file. It will give the whether a particular file is malware or not, as well as what is the hash values. Generally, on the first page only it will give the MD5 value, but all the file like MD5, SHA, all unique values you can see, right? You can retrieve on your system itself without internet, as well as through internet application also you can do that. That is the easiest way. If you know the
today,
sir,
today is the third day of our training.
Third day or fourth day? Fourth day.
Yeah, fourth day. Yeah, fourth day of the training. Since now, I want to confirm whether have we really started that SIEM, because still now I think we are in the network.
It's mostly a SOC foundation training. It's mostly because 7 days, 10 days, we cannot cover everything. It's mostly SOC foundation training. We'll cover the network, then we'll come in the SIEM, what is SIEM, how we can utilize it, where we can see the incident and everything. That will cover here. 10 days, we cannot cover everything. It's a SOC foundation course.
Yeah, I understand. But I want to know whether the SOC is started or not. It is not started, right?
What is that? It's a SOC foundation course. Means to become a SOC analyst is a foundation. Without that, you can't understand. If you do work also, you will not understand. You will not be confident. If you do this, understand this, you'll be full of confidence and a further career of your whole life. Many people are working, but their foundation basics are not clear. This is a strong foundation that I'm creating of you guys. Once you work on a company, you will understand everything. You talk to network team, you talk to firewall team, you take the proxy team. Yes or no? You talk to the client, you'll be full of confidence.
Definitely,
yes
definitely.
People are working in the company, they started directly working on the SOC. Their fundamental is not clear. They do not grow, they are not confident. If base is clear, basis foundation is strong, you can make a big building, 100 floors.
Correct, sir.
Yes or no? So mostly in 10 days, we can't cover a whole SOC. The whole SOC takes 3.5 months for in-depth training, right? But 10 days, I'll cover maximum which I can cover and make your foundation.
Do you have any idea about our standard is going to change, right? The ISO standard, ISM standard.
Sir, one question.
2001 to 2022. What will be the changes? The ISM standard is going to change, right?
Sorry, what is telling? What you're telling?
Oh, the ISM standard is going to change from 27001 to 2013. So what will be the impact of that?
There are some of the more, because considering the current security trends, right? There are some more changes has been added, but more things has been added on the new standard. Government is also keeping an eye, right? What index have been implemented on particular standard, right? So because of the current security trends, the malicious activity happening more and more, attackers are more, more active. Based on that, there are always certain changes on the compliance. Okay, next question.
Okay, sir. On the whole, I have one question. Sir. If anybody is,
I have to give the chance to other people now.
Yeah, last one question, sir. Please, for last 3 days, I have now opened my mouth. Okay. See, if somebody is doing fault, the police can able to identify this is the person. Correct. In the cyber world, why we cannot be able to find? Okay, this man.
We can find
the hacker.
See, there are multiple things, right? Here in the physical thief happens, right? Physical thief, right? If happens, you have controls. It happens within the country. You have all the control. Your police is yours. Your government is yours. Yes or no? Further investigation you can do. Nobody is going to stop you. But in cyber securities, majority of the times, all the investigation points are not in your hand, because attackers, majority of them will be outside of your country. Outside of your country, if you get the IP, see, we can get the information. If you put our effort, we can get the information, but no sense of getting it much. Why? Because we can't take any action against him or her. Who are sitting in Nigeria, for example, don't get it. But if you see what are the most suspicious country from cybersecurity perspective, Don't feel bad, but you search it right now and you get the result, which all the countries like North Korea, China. I don't want to name it. We have people globally here. You can do the search yourself. So what happens is, for example, some attackers are from North Korea, right? You identify, okay, this is attacker, right? This is IP address and this is the system used. You have all the evidence, but you are helpless here. You can't do anything because their government is not going to support you. When the terrorism is happening in India, right? We have full evidence, right? We know that terrorist is this one, and we have full evidence, and some countries are giving them not only permissions, they're supporting them and they're helping them. They have securities also, right? So that is what happens. If you can see this example in the physical world, you understand the digital world, right? So that is the reason in cybersecurity, we believe on protecting our network, securing our network, instead of identifying. When the big cyber attack happens, sometimes, let's say Donald Trump, last time when he was the president of America, USA, last time, if you remember, on his Twitter account, he tweeted that, if you remember from guys from USA, that Donald Trump, when he was the president, he tweeted from his account. He did not tweet, but someone else, attacker has compromised his account, and he tweeted that today you send 1 Bitcoin my account. Tomorrow I will return 2 Bitcoins. Now you understand, President of America, most powerful person of the world, right? He cannot lie over the public social media, right? Many people has transferred 1 Bitcoin to his account, and it was not his account. It was a hacker who has compromised his account, hacked his Twitter account, and they have posted. Big investigation happened because one of the powerful man, yes or no? In this case, investigation happened. The guilty person, the cyber criminals are on jail now. So in this scenario, it happens, but not all the scenarios, right? Sometimes you know that. Sometimes also attackers are very intelligent. They're hiding themselves behind the proxy, behind the VPNs. They're using to attack some compromised systems. They're not attacking from their own systems, right? They're attacking your company. They have attack compromise, and they will initiate some DDoS or some other attacks from some compromised systems, right? That's the reason final IP address or computer identification is very, very difficult. And if you identify also, it's very difficult to catch them. You can't file the FIR. File the FIR in India, what do you get? Can India police can go to the North Korea and catch the attacker? No, right? That's the reason prevention is better than cure. Instead of finding the attacker and catching them, it's better to prevent. Okay. So that's enough for the day. We'll wind up for the day. We'll connect tomorrow at the same time. Okay. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.